So this question is a diagram question. It's based upon the graph provided here. And whenever I see a graph like this or a scatter plot the way this is, I like to take a look at the title. So the title says gestation period versus life expectancy. Take a look at each of the axes. So the x-axis here is gestation period. The y-axis here is life expectancy in years. And then I do one additional thing, which is something I call the pinpoint method, which just says, hey, pick a point, preferably something that's on one of the axis grid lines, and just interpret what that point means. So for me, the point that I just circled tells me that there's a 2-year life expectancy when there is a 15-day gestation period, right? So if I can interpret that point, that means I can interpret any of the points here on the graph. So it goes on to say a curator at a wildlife society created the scatter plot above to examine the relationship between the gestation period and life expectancy of 10 species of animals. So the question says, of the labeled points, which represents the animal for which the ratio of life expectancy to gestation periods. First of all, let me write that down, right? So ratio just means fraction on this test. So I'm going to have life expectancy as the numerator because it was mentioned first, to gestation period as the denominator because it was mentioned second, gestation period. And I'm looking for the greatest, right? So the greatest ratio. So let's test these out. So answer choice A represents point A, and point A, let me just go up here where I have more space. Point A has a life expectancy of 7, so that'd be 7, over a gestation period of, looks like right in between 20 and 25. So I'm gonna call it 22.5. And just so I can really truly compare this to other answers, I'm gonna turn it into a decimal. It's very difficult to compare fraction values or quantities. It's much easier to compare decimal quantities. So I'm going to divide 7 divided by 22.5, and what I get here is 0.311 with the bar. So that's A, right? So I don't know if that's the right answer yet because, again, I'm looking for the greatest ratio. So I got to try all of these. So choice B, that point is here. So again, the life expectancy for point B is 8. Hopefully you see that on the graph. And the gestation period is closer to 45, but not quite there. I'm going to call it 44. If I'm wrong, it is 43. Usually on this test, the answer choices won't be so close that small misunderstanding or misvaluation will matter so much. So let's just see what 8 divided by 44 is. So 8 divided by 44 in my calculator, I get 0.18. So that's definitely out because A is larger than B. So then choice C, same thing. So now I'm here. The life expectancy is 8. So that's my numerator. The gestation period looks like it's right after 50. I'm going to call it 51. Again, maybe it's 52, but I'm pretty sure it's closer to 51. And it should not matter. And then 8 divided by 51 is 0.15, so 0.15, so that's out because A is still larger. And then lastly is choice D, and D is here, and the life expectancy there is 10 over the gestation period is a little bit over 50, so again, I'm gonna call it 51, and that should also be smaller than A, but let's just double check. So 10 divided by 51, I get 0.19, so that's out. So therefore, my answer must be choice A.